The world is on the brink of witnessing a revolutionary leap in air combat technology that could change the balance of global power. The U.S. military is closer than ever to launching its highly anticipated sixth-generation fighter jet under the Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program, a development that China views with growing apprehension. This aircraft will redefine air superiority, potentially rendering all other fighter jets obsolete. But what makes the American sixth-generation fighter so unique? And why does it represent a direct threat to China's military ambitions? Join us as we uncover how the latest innovations in stealth, maneuverability, hypersonic speed, and autonomous drones make this fighter jet the most advanced weapon in the sky. In 2024, the world will witness a momentous event that will determine the future leader of air superiority. The Pentagon is preparing to select the competition winner to develop the sixth-generation fighter that will replace the legendary F-22 Raptor. In this battle of technology, two giants have converged: Lockheed Martin and Boeing, competing for a multi-billion-dollar contract that will be decisive for the global distribution of forces in the coming decades. The perfection of the new airplane will determine who will dominate the skies in the middle of the 21st century, and who will be able to dictate its rules to the world. Air superiority is a key element of global hegemony, and this is what the U.S. is fighting for, to not lose its superpower status to the growing challenge from China. It is obvious that the Celestial Empire, watching these processes, sees in the American sixth-generation fighter jet not just a technical miracle, but also a direct threat to its ambitions for military and technological dominance. The Next Generation Air Dominance Program, abbreviated NGAD, is the U.S. response to evolving threats and the growing ambitions of competitors such as China and Russia in the race for global military supremacy. Officially launched in 2014, it aims to develop a sixth-generation fighter jet that will be the foundation for the U.S. Air Force for decades to come. This program not only goes beyond traditional fighter jets, but also encompasses the development of an entire system of allies, unmanned vehicles integrated with manned aircraft. From the beginning, it was clear that NGAD would be one of the most ambitious and expensive programs in the history of American aviation. According to some reports, more than $10 billion has already been spent on initial research and development alone. It is expected that the total cost of the program could exceed $100 billion if the entire chain of development, mass production, and integration of new technologies are taken into account. However, many details of the NGAD remain classified. Specific technical characteristics, design decisions, and even the final appearance of the fighter are kept in the strictest secrecy. This is not surprising, given the strategic importance of the program for the future of American military power. But despite all measures of secrecy from various credible sources, we were able to gather information to put together a unified mosaic and visualize what the NGAD will become for the world in the coming decades. The sixth-generation NGAD fighter will reportedly be radically different from its predecessors. One of its key features will be a tailless design, or in other words, a flying wing, which represents a revolution in fighter jet design. Recall that the U.S. is the only country that has put into mass production airplanes made according to the flying wing design. But they are bombers. These are the B-2 Spirit and the B-21 Raider. Such machines do not need the high maneuverability inherent in fighters. However, without vertical stabilizers, it is very difficult to achieve high maneuverability while maintaining stability. But we are sure that American engineers will solve this problem. However, the absence of vertical stabilizers will significantly reduce the radar visibility of the aircraft, which will make the aircraft even more lethal to the enemy. Particular attention has been paid to the integration of the cockpit into the fuselage of the aircraft. This innovative design, which places the pilot in the most protected and concealed position possible, also minimizes radar visibility. This solution enhances the overall stealth characteristics of the NGAD, ensuring its survivability in the most challenging mission environments. The NGAD design not only strives for maximum stealth, but also for optimal aerodynamics, which will allow it to be fast, maneuverable, and virtually invulnerable in the air. To clarify, scheme without vertical stabilizers or flying wing is aerodynamically unstable and poorly controlled. On the other hand, an unstable structure is easier to move to another position. What will turn over faster, a cube or a pyramid placed on top? Of course, such a turn must be controllable. So the NGAD fighter must have very powerful computers. But in this matter, too, the US is a world leader. One of the most impressive features of the 6th generation NGAD fighter will be its revolutionary propulsion system. The new engine, being developed as part of the program, will be equipped with technologies that will allow the aircraft to adapt to different conditions and missions in real time. This engine is expected to be able to operate in multiple modes, providing the fighter with high fuel efficiency for long missions and incredible power to execute swift attacks. Dual circuit and multifunctional. At speeds up to Mach 3, it will operate as a turbojet engine, providing high thrust and efficiency at subsonic and supersonic speeds. When the speed exceeds Mach 3, the engine will switch to a straight-through air-jet mode, which will allow it to operate efficiently at hypersonic speeds of Mach 5 and 6. This opens up new opportunities for surprise attacks and rapid penetration of enemy airspace. Also, its feature will be a controlled thrust vector, which compensates for the lack of vertical stabilizers while maintaining high maneuverability of the aircraft. This system will allow the NGAD to perform complex maneuvers at high speed, which is especially important in air-to-air combat with the enemy. The engine for the NGAD fighter is being developed by General Electric Aerospace and Pratt & Whitney, which once developed engines for the F-22 and F-35. The engine has $1.3 billion allocated for development and is expected to be ready for testing in 2028. We've already talked about how the flying wing scheme will affect the aircraft's stealth. Now let's talk more about stealth technology for the NGAD fighter. The US has long been recognized as the world leader in stealth technology, and the 6th generation fighter promises to reinforce this superiority. The effective dispersion area, abbreviated EDA, of the 5th generation F-22 and F-35 fighters, which determines their visibility to radar, is one of the smallest among existing aircraft. The F-22, for example, has an EPR of about 0.0001 square meters, comparable to the size of a bee. But the NGAD fighter will raise this standard to a new level, becoming even less visible on radar thanks to the latest technology. The lack of vertical stabilizers and the integration of the cockpit into the fuselage are just the beginning. The NGAD will utilize advanced coatings and materials that absorb radio waves, greatly reducing the reflection of radar signals. This will make it virtually invisible to most modern air defense systems and enemy aircraft radars. In addition, NGAD developers are continuing to work on refining hull shapes, specifically designed to minimize radar visibility. The angles and edges of the airplane will be such that radio waves bounce away from the signal source rather than back again. As a result, the new fighter's EPR will be even lower than that of the F-22 and F-35, making it virtually invisible to radar and making it difficult to detect its presence in enemy airspace until the very last moment. One of the key aspects of the 6th generation NGAD fighter will be its advanced radio electronic systems, which will surpass all current counterparts. The aircraft will be equipped with state-of-the-art electronics capable of not only providing superior combat effectiveness, but also adapting to rapidly changing warfare conditions in real time. The NGAD's electronic warfare systems must not just meet current requirements, but set a new standard for all future military aircraft. First, the NGAD will be equipped with a multifunctional radar with an active phased array antenna array, or AESA. There is virtually no information about it, but it will certainly be more advanced than the AN/APG-81 radar for the F-35 fighter. The latter detects Russian Sukhoi such as an Su-30, an Su-34, and Su-35 at a distance of up to 150 kilometers, escorts up to 20 targets, and works in the mode of location, mapping, and REB. The new generation REB systems will not only provide aircraft protection, but will also be an active tool in the fight against enemy air defenses, reducing their combat effectiveness to a minimum. Using powerful pulses and interference, NGAD will be able to blind enemy systems and evade detection even in the most defensible areas. Another key technology will be infrared sensors that will provide the ability to detect enemy aircraft in passive mode. This means that the NGAD will be able to track heat from enemy engines or systems without turning on its radar, thus remaining hidden. A similar system called IRST for Infrared Search and Track is already installed on the F-35 and is planned to be retrofitted to the F-22. Special attention is paid to the cockpit. The NGAD pilot will have a full 360-degree view through the use of sensors and augmented reality technology. This innovative interface will give the pilot a fully immersive combat environment, enhanced situational awareness, and the ability to make instant decisions based on real-time information. The pilot will be able to see not only his surroundings, but also target, threats, and tactical data from the aircraft's sensors and supporting systems. Artificial intelligence will be an important part of the NGAD. It will not only assist the pilot in controlling the aircraft, but will also analyze huge amounts of data coming from all sensors and systems, which will make it possible to predict enemy actions and recommend optimal tactical solutions. AI will take over routine tasks such as managing sensors or selecting optimal trajectories, leaving the pilot more time to concentrate on combat missions. This will effectively turn the NGAD fighter into an intelligent fighting machine, where man and machine work in perfect harmony. The NGAD fighter's armament will be a major factor in its lethality and ability to meet the most demanding combat missions. Designed for future conflicts, the NGAD will be equipped with an arsenal of advanced weapons, including hypersonic missiles and laser systems, which will significantly raise the bar of fighter capabilities to a new level. The first and most formidable weapon that the NGAD will be equipped with is hypersonic missiles. Now, the U.S. is developing several programs to create hypersonic airborne missiles. These are, first of all, missile AGM-183A, Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, abbreviated as ARRW, with a speed of more than Mach 5 and a range of over 1,000 kilometers, as well as Hypersonic Air-Breathing Weapon Concept, abbreviated as HAWC, developed by Lockheed Martin and Raytheon Technologies. It will also have a speed above Mach 5. There is no data about its range yet. It is expected that the missiles will be versatile, that is, will be able to hit both air and ground targets. Thanks to the speed and maneuverability of hypersonic missiles, the NGAD fighter will be able to destroy enemy aircraft, ships, and ground targets before the enemy has time to react. But not only hypersonic missiles will be an important element of the NGAD armament. An important role will be played by laser weapons, which are also being developed in the U.S. for the new aircraft. Laser installations planned for integration on NGAD will be designed primarily for defense against enemy missiles. These systems will be able to blind the guidance systems of enemy missiles or destroy them on approach. Laser weapons have several advantages over traditional means of defense. They have high accuracy, as there is no need to correct for the speed and maneuvering of the target, and can operate at any speed of the aircraft. Thanks to hypersonic missiles and laser systems, the NGAD will be able to solve problems inaccessible to other aircraft and maintain an absolute advantage over the enemy, no matter how technologically advanced it may be. The 6th generation NGAD fighter will not just be a single combat vehicle, but part of an entire system that will include winged drones. This innovative solution aims to create a layered tactical network where a manned aircraft will interact with a group of drones performing various tasks, from reconnaissance to strike. The winged drones will become a kind of allies of the NGAD, expanding its combat capabilities and reducing risks for the pilot. One of the key developers of these drones is Kratos, a company specializing in autonomous flying systems. These drones, dubbed Loyal Wingmen, will operate near the NGAD. These drones will be able to perform reconnaissance, establish safe routes for manned aircraft, identify threats, and even attack targets at the command of the pilot or the NGAD's artificial intelligence. A special feature of these drones will be their high degree of autonomy. They will be able to operate both in fully automatic mode and under the control of the NGAD pilot, who will be able to distribute tasks between the drones depending on the combat situation. This will provide the NGAD fighter with the ability to coordinate attacks on multiple targets simultaneously, as well as distribute risks. The drones can be used to divert the enemy's air defense, thus opening the way for the main fighter to attack. Notably, Russia has already taken a step in this direction, testing a bundle of the Su-57 fifth-generation fighter and the S-70 Hunter drone. This drone acts as a winged assistant, supporting the Su-57 in combat. So far, the Russians have not succeeded. The whole world has seen footage of an Su-57 pilot destroying his Su-70 in the skies over Ukraine with a missile, which had stopped obeying commands. The U.S. cannot afford to fall behind in this race, and the NGAD program with guided drones is the answer to challenges from Russian and Chinese developments. Drones interfacing with the NGAD will be able to operate as part of a squadron or individually, adding flexibility to combat missions. The NGAD 6th generation fighter is not just a new aircraft, it is the embodiment of the next era of air superiority, capable of changing the balance of power in the world. The development of this aircraft is a strategic move by the U.S. that will allow it to maintain and strengthen its air superiority, despite the growing ambitions of China and Russia. The combination of unprecedented stealth technology, hypersonic weaponry, laser defense, and integration with autonomous drones makes the NGAD not just a formidable adversary, but an unattainable threat to any hostile force. It is known that the Pentagon plans to order 200 NGAD fighters and 1,000 drones for them. China, which is actively working to develop its next-generation fighters and seeks global leadership, realizes that the emergence of the NGAD will seriously weaken its chances of dominating the air. Any attempt by Beijing to strengthen its position will run up against the technological barrier set up by the U.S. The NGAD's combat capability will not only close the skies to the enemy, but will also change the very rules of warfare, making aerial combat even faster and deadlier for the enemy. In the mid-21st century, airspace will become a key battleground for global dominance, and whoever dominates the skies will dictate their terms on land and sea. NGAD will be the card that will allow the U.S. to maintain control of this strategic high ground, which is why China fears it the most. What do you think about the U.S. 6th generation fighter jet? Will it ensure continued U.S. military leadership? Share your thoughts in the comments. We would be grateful for thumbs up and subscriptions to our channel. And we'll see you soon.